What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Let's get this camera mirrored. Let's fix that. What's going on, man? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Let's get the live, share it out. Let's get some people in here. Let's talk about the fact that you could be, do, and have anything you desire. Your only limit is your own imagination. If you could think it, you could do it. You can't think it, you can't do it. Good news is you can think it, therefore you can do it. I'm sharing the live out to everybody. People in our inner circle, they already got their text message, so they already know what's going on. They already know what time it is. Let's see. Let's get our people in here. Hopefully everybody having a dope day, phenomenal day. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. How y'all day going? I'm on my share screen right now, so I can't see the comments right now. There we go. We back. Yeah, y'all get on in here, tap the screen, share the live. We're finna talk about the 5C success method, man. We're finna talk about how to turn your thoughts into things. What's up, y'all? Talk about how to take the desires out of your heart and turn them into something you can taste, touch, feel, hear, and see. How's everybody's day going? What's today? Tuesday. How everybody Tuesday going? Happy Tuesday, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? How your day going? You having a good day? We got the board out. We're gonna be headed to the board soon. And we're gonna be talking about the 5 C's. We're gonna be talking about the 5 C's. We got them already down here: clarity, calibration, confidence, competence, consistency. We're gonna be getting into them, man. So if you got some ideas that you want to turn into real things, you in the right place. What's up, Job? You having a good day? That's what I like to hear. What's up, Alfred, man? As y'all in here chilling, do me a favor. Tap the line. Tap the screen. Tap, 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 tap. I make y'all a deal, man. I keep talking as long as y'all keep tapping. I'm gonna be dropping all sorts of gems, information that we typically keep behind a paywall. Towards the end of the live, I'm gonna be lining you guys up with all types of free resources to turn your thoughts into things. What's going on, Nene? But guys, the bottom line is, if you could think it, you could do it, man. You can't think it, you can't do it. Thanks for the taps. If you could think it, you could do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. The good news is, though, you got control over your thinking. You got control over your thinking. But what's got to happen is we gotta realize how the mind works. Most people don't realize how the mind works. First step when we starting to get what we want is what I call the becoming phase. You got to start in this becoming phase. Okay. Now the first step to becoming is you got to get clear about what it is that you want. You got to understand that it's a list of things over here that you don't want. What you got to do is look at those things. Then you got to ask yourself, what would I rather have? Appreciate you, Schoolie. Yeah, I need you guys tapping the screen, send those roses. Look, those roses cost less than a penny, but they let TikTok know that we own. They let TikTok know that we lie. They let TikTok know that there's some good teaching going on. So yeah, if you want to help the lie, tap the screen, send some roses, put some comments in there. Do what you can. Tapping the screen costs nothing. Sending a comment costs nothing, but it helped me get the energy in the room moving the way that I need to moving, so we can touch as many people as possible, so we can help as many people as possible. So step one to getting what you want. Step one to taking the desires out of your heart, taking the ideas out of your head and turning them into something tangible is becoming aware of what you don't like. Becoming aware of what you don't like. You might got a job that you don't like. You might got a relationship that you don't like. What you got to do is put your attention on it, but don't get hypnotized by it. Put your attention on it, but don't get hypnotized by it. That's right. Keep tapping the screen. Tap, 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 tap. Let's get up to 5,000 likes real quick and easy. But you're going to put your attention onto what you don't want, and you're going to ask yourself, what would I rather have? What would I rather have? For sure, for sure. Appreciate you, Danae. How you been? So you're gonna look at what you don't want. You're gonna look at the relationship you don't want. You're gonna look at the job you don't want. You're gonna look at the bank account you don't want, and you're gonna ask yourself, what would I rather have? And you're gonna start describing what you would rather have. Let's say you got a relationship that you don't want, and you don't want the relationship because it's full of disrespect, It feels like you lonely, even though you got a partner, you still feel lonely. It feels like you're doing it by yourself. So I'm not asking you to act like that stuff not happening. I'm not asking you to act like that stuff don't exist. That would be crazy. But I'm asking you to say, okay, I don't like that I feel disrespected. I don't like that I feel lonely. I don't like that I feel like I'm doing this by myself. I don't like that I feel like I can't trust this person. I want you to get crystal clear on what it is that you don't like, but then I want you to ask the magic question. People who've been watching me stream, what is the magic question? Y'all know what the magic question is? Do you know what the magic question is? If you know what the magic question is, I want you to put the magic question in the bottom. I want you to put the magic question in the bottom. I'm gonna write the magic question right here, but I'm gonna put my big back in the way so y'all can't see it. That's the magic question. What do I desire? Exactly. Let me zoom in. The magic question is, what would I rather have? What would I rather have? What would I rather have? I need you guys to keep tapping. I'm gonna make you a deal. If you keep tapping, I'm gonna keep talking. Okay. So step one is to get clarity about what I don't want. I start here. I got this list of things that I don't want, but I'm not gonna get hypnotized by this stuff that I don't want. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna ask myself, what would I rather have? What would I rather have? So in this relationship, I was feeling disrespected. Obviously, if I was feeling disrespected, what I want to feel? I want to feel respected. If I was feeling lonely, I want to feel like I got a supportive partner. If I was feeling like I'm doing it by myself, we'll put that under supportive partner. If I was feeling lack of trust, I want to feel trust. Okay? So once I got clear about what I wanted, then we move over to the second phase, which is calibration. Now, calibration is all about getting under the influence of what I would like to have. So this right here, we're gonna say that this is your TV. Now let me ask you something. What would happen? What would happen if you put a scary movie on this TV? If you put a scary movie on this TV, what would happen? If you put a scary movie on that TV and you try to watch it, what would happen? Would you have to try to get scared or would you just get scared? What would happen if you start watching this scary movie? Or what about if we change the channel from a scary movie? What if we then put on a funny movie? If we put a funny movie on there, do you got to try to laugh or do you just got to watch the movie? Or we take the funny movie off and we put a romance movie on there. Do you got to try to get butterflies or do you just got to watch the movie? Exactly, Scully. You calibrate to what you want. So your job is to get clear about what you want and then put the TV of your mind on that channel. That's what calibration is all about. Calibration is all about purposely picking what you think about. Calibration is all about purposely picking what you think about. So we got step one, which is get clear. Get clarity on what you want. That's step one. Get clarity about what you want. Step two is calibrate to it. You got to start imagining what you want. Most people spend their whole day imagining what they don't want. Think about it. You probably spend more time imagining what you don't want than imagining what you would like to have. Think about it. You get on the phone and tell your friends, I can't stand this girl at my job named Crystal. Her big back ass ate my food. She think I don't know. She look I ain't slap the shit out of her. But let her try it tomorrow. Now you finna have a whole conversation about what you don't want. What if you change the channel to what you would rather have? And what if you got a friend group that you can start getting on the phone and talking about what you would like to have? That's what calibration is about. Calibration is about getting under the influence of what you would like to have. Don't make the mistake that a lot of people make. A lot of people look at this stuff that they don't want and they get hypnotized by this. They put all of their energy, all of their attention right here. Have you ever heard the saying where attention goes, energy flows? Where attention goes, energy flows. So what you got to do is you got to stop thinking about this. You got to stop thinking about what you don't want, and you got to get hypnotized by what you would rather have. You got to get hypnotized by what you would rather have. And as you get hypnotized by what you'd rather have, that's what we call calibration. That's what we call calibration. So if you got a lack of money over here, don't get hypnotized by the lack of money. I want you to get hypnotized by the idea of more money. I want you to get hypnotized by the freedom that comes with having more money. I want you to get hypnotized by the excitement with having more money. Have you ever had some money on the way? Maybe you got into an accident, you got a settlement on the way, or maybe you got your taxes on the way, and the money not there yet, but you know it's coming. And you already in your mind excited about the money. You already know what you're gonna do with the money. Like, have you ever felt that feeling? The money not here yet, but it's in transition. You ever had that feeling? So excited. The money not there yet, but you can still tap into the excitement before it gets there. And that's what this calibration phase is all about. Calibration is part of what we call the becoming phase. And even though it's not here yet, as if I calibrate to it, I'm gonna get excited about it right here, right now. I'm gonna get excited about it right here, right now. Okay? But before I can calibrate, I gotta know what I want. My question to you guys is, do you know what you want? I need you guys to keep tapping the screen. I'm gonna keep talking. You guys gonna keep tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Tapping that screen, let TikTok know that we doing some big stuff over here. Tapping that screen, help us stay on the For You page. Tapping that screen gonna keep new energy coming into the room. And the more new energy to come into the room, the more information I'm gonna accidentally give away. Because a lot of the stuff that I talk about on TikTok, I actually keep it behind a paywall, not a small paywall, a big paywall. But the more energy that's coming in here, the more of the recipe that I give, because there's new energy coming into the room. But if people start being lazy, not tapping, I know it's good information and it's real good to start listening and forget to tap. But don't worry, I'm gonna remind you because the tapping help us stay on top of things. The tapping help us get in front of more eyeballs. So after we got clarity about what we want and we calibrate to what we want, we're ready to move into the third phase. Now the third phase is what we call confidence. Now confidence in the 5C model might be a little different from confidence in other forms. When I'm saying confidence in the 5C model, I mean that you got your eyeballs, your internal eyeballs locked onto this TV. You got your internal eyeballs locked onto your desire. Like right now, I got a desire for us to get about 85 people in here. I'm not going to put my eyeballs on that number six up there. I'm going to keep my eyeballs internally trained to my goal. So right now, I'm right here. Let's make this real. Let's make this real. Right now, where my eraser at? Let's get rid of that. Let's refill this in. You know what? Let's get rid of all this. We're gonna refill all of this in, and we're gonna use my live as an example, so you can see how this works. And you guys gonna keep tapping the screen and keep sharing the live. Appreciate you. You're gonna keep tapping the screen and you're gonna keep sharing the live. So right now, I'm in what we call the becoming phase. Have you guys ever heard me talk about be, do, have? Have you ever heard me talk about be, do, have? Before I can have it, I have to do it. But before I can do it, I have to be it. Right? So, what is it? What is it? It is my desire. It is the thing that I want that isn't here yet. So, right now, I got a goal of I want to get 50 people in this room. I want to get 50 people in this room. So, right now, I'm looking at the numbers and it's only 11. So, I see this thing that I don't like. I see this thing that I don't like. That's this right here. Now, when you learn to use the 5C creative method, this is what you're going to do. You're going to learn how to look at things that you don't like and go, I don't like this. What would I rather have? So, what I would rather have is I'd rather have 50 people in here. I'd rather have people tapping the screen. I'd rather have people sharing the live. I want to have people asking questions. I want to have people signing up for my 5C inner circle. This is the first phrase of the 5C program, clarity. What happened? I saw this thing that I didn't like, and I didn't get hypnotized by it. I said, I don't like that. Then I asked the magic question, what would I rather have? Then I made a list of what I would rather have. Clarity is that simple. That's the first stage to clarity. That's the first stage. That's the first stage to the 5C program. I saw something I didn't like. What most people would do is they would focus on this thing that they didn't like. They go, man, it's only 11 people in here. It's other people on this app who got hundreds of people in their room. And they only go in her room because she half naked. They only go in her room because she pretty. She not talking about nothing. I don't know why they go in her room. And I got valuable stuff to say, but ain't nobody in here. And it's not fair because if I pull my chest out and I get half naked, they'll come in my live too. But I shouldn't have to degrade myself. But what you're doing when you do that is you getting hypnotized by what you don't want. We don't do that anymore. The days are over getting on the phone talking about things that we don't like. The days are over where we get on TikTok and get on our For You page and watch videos about stuff that we don't like. The day is over where we sit there and get in our imagination and relive things that we don't like. We don't act like they don't exist. We just get in the habit of asking ourselves, what would I rather have? And we start to make a list of what we'd rather have. Now, the dope thing about it is, as I start to make this list, I want 50 people in the room. I want people tapping the screen. I want people sharing the live. I want people asking good questions. I want people signing up for my 5C program. You got this part of the brain called the thalamus. Thalamus is responsible. Well, it's responsible for a lot of things, but one of the things it's responsible for is handling sensory information. So the things that come in through the senses and passing it to your nervous system so that your nervous system can respond to it. But you know what else your thalamus does? It takes in things that you imagine. So as I describe having 50 people in the room, my thalamus can't determine between me talking about it happening and it actually happening. So right now, even though it's only 12 people in here, as I talk about my desire of having 50 people in here, my thalamus starts to respond as if it's already 50 people in here. Your nervous system don't respond to what's going on. It responds to what you tell it about what's going on. I'm gonna say that again. I need you guys to keep tapping the screen. The nervous system don't respond to what's going on. It responds to what you tell it is going on. So you can tell it, hey, it's only 10 people in here, and it's not fair. I've been on here for a long time. I got good information. Why is it not more people in here? I can pass this to my thalamus, or I can start the work of passing this to my thalamus. Which one do you think gonna get me closer to where I want to be the quickest? I didn't say instantly, I said the quickest. Do you think harping on what I don't want is gonna get me there quicker? Or getting clear about what I want and talking about it is gonna get me there quicker? Which one? This an interactive live. This the one where we talk to each other. I got a podcast, but this ain't the podcast. This the interactive live. Which one you think gonna get me where I want to be quicker? Focusing on what I don't want or focusing on what I would like to have? So that's clarity. That's the first C, clarity. Okay? Getting crystal clear on what I want. Now, once I get crystal clear on what I want, it's time for me to move to the second phase. The second phase is what we call calibration. Calibration. So calibration is all about going to that screen in your mind and putting a picture of what you want in the center of your mind. Let's say that this is a TV. Let's say this is TV. Put the power button right there. Okay. Now, if I put an action movie on this TV, do I got to try to get excited? Or do I just got to put an action movie on the TV and put my attention on it? Right? Let's make it real. Let's make it real. Cause y'all be acting like y'all don't get what's going on. Let's make it real. If I put something erotic on this TV, do I gotta try to make my body respond or do I just gotta watch the TV show? Appreciate you, Dad. If I put something funny on this TV, do I gotta try to laugh? Do I gotta force myself to laugh? Or do I just gotta put my attention on the TV? Exactly. So if I put my goal on this TV, not what I don't want, but what I want. If I put my goal on this TV, if I put the 50 people tapping the screen, sending gifts, if I put that on the TV, do I got to try to feel gratitude or do I just got to focus on the TV? I just got to focus on the TV, right? So that's what calibration is all about. Calibration is thinking on purpose. Calibration is when you get in the habit of telling your thoughts what to think and telling your feelings what to feel. Let me tell you something. You don't use willpower to control your body. You use willpower to control your focus. The nature said the magic word. You don't use willpower to train your body. You use willpower to train your focus. And your body is going to respond to what you focus on. You use willpower to say, I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to think about this. And just like that, we've already moved from 8 people to 13 people. And if I just find it in myself to remain calibrated, not to that number, but to my goal. Because what a lot of people do is they'll say, okay, I'm calibrating to the 50 people. I'm calibrating to the 50 people. I'm calibrating to the 50. Then they look up there and say, oh man, it's only 13 people in here. It's not working. Well, it was working, but now now it's still working. You just got calibrated to the 13. Your job is to remain calibrated to the 50. Your job is to remain calibrated to the money in the bank. Your job is to remain calibrated to the goal no matter what. Does that make sense? And now, if I just stay calibrated to the 50, we're going to hit the 50. I want you to start looking at your desire. I want you to start looking at it like this. We're still on calibration. I want you to start looking at it like this. What that is? What is that? Keep tapping the screen there, guys. Don't give up on the taps. I want you to keep tapping the screen because we got a goal of getting 50 people in here. And people gonna tap the screen. That's an oh, you've been with me for a while. Oh, what's up, self-love queen? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? That's an oak tree. Okay? This equals this. This is the same thing as this, except this is the desire, and this is the desire fulfilled. This is the idea, this is the business. But isn't it reasonable to say that if you got this, you got this, but you got to plant this? So many times we'll see people holding the acorn, wishing for the oak tree. You don't got to wish for the oak tree. You got to plant the acorn. Y'all keeping up with me? Why are you wishing for the oak tree? When you got the oak tree, you got to plant the acorn. That makes sense. Stop wishing for the oak tree. Manifesting is not wishing. Do y'all know what the word manifest means? Let's talk about what the word manifest means. I'm gonna write it down. I want you to see. And when I'm teaching like hypnosis classes and workshops and stuff, I tell them if I write it, they should be writing it too. That's what I tell them. But I want y'all to tap on the screen. Let's define the word manifest. This is what it say when you look up manifest in the dictionary. Manifest means to make obvious to the eye or the mind. That's all manifest means. Manifest means to make obvious to the eye of the mind. That's not manifest. That's not manifesting. Manifesting is planting the seed. Manifesting is the art of making it obvious to the eye or the mind. You got to realize that the mind follows the body. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Where the mind goes, the body follows. If you send your mind, think about something that pissed you off. It could happen yesterday. It could happen years ago. If you put your mind on something that pisses you off, do you got to try to ball up your face and ball up your fists and look mad and feel mad? Or do you just got to start thinking about it? Stay with me. I need you guys keep tapping the screen. Tap, 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 tap. We already up to 2.5 almost. Let's get to 5,000. Taps on the screen. Where the mind goes, the body follows. So if you want to have the things that you desire, what you got to do is first get clear about what you want and send your mind to it. Send your mind to it. If you send your mind to it, repeatedly, you can't send your mind to it once for 3 seconds and say it didn't work. That's not what we're talking about. You can't send your mind to it once for 3 seconds and say it didn't work. That's not what we're talking about. You got to send your mind there repetitiously. You got to send your mind there over and over again. What's going on, Nene? You got to send your mind there time and time again. And that's where willpower come in. I keep telling you, you don't use willpower to control the flesh. You use willpower to discipline the mind. Willpower has no control over flesh. You use willpower to discipline your focus. You hear what I'm saying? You don't use willpower to put yourself in a bad situation and then you use willpower to go, no, I'm just gonna go to the party where everybody doing drugs and I'm gonna use my willpower to not do that. No, you use willpower to say I'm not going to that party. You don't use willpower to not be anxious. You use willpower to say, I'm not gonna think about that thing that makes me anxious. I'm gonna think about this instead. You don't use willpower to get rich. You use willpower to focus on the money. You use willpower to focus on the things that produce the riches. You don't use willpower to go to the gym. You use willpower to say, I want to look good naked. I want stamina. I want to be the type of person that if I'm on a stage telling you you could be, do, and have anything you desire, I want to look like I practice what I preach. I use willpower to control my mind. I don't use willpower to not cheat on my wife. I use willpower to keep my eyes on my wife. If I never was focused on the other thing, how did I get to the point of cheating on my wife? I use my willpower to control my focus. I don't gotta make myself not do things if I don't focus on the thing to start with. I don't use willpower to get out of bed every morning at 6 a.m. and go live. I use willpower the night before to say I'm gonna go live, it's gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna change lives all around the world. I use willpower instead of saying, what if nobody shows up? What if I'm in there by myself? I use willpower to say, what if I go live and stop somebody from committing suicide? What if I go live and it's somebody who's so touched by the information that they book a month of sessions with me? I use willpower to control my focus. But before I can control my focus, I got to know what I want. The Bible say you have not because you ask not. Seeking ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open. If you don't know what you want, how you going to ask? If you don't know what you want, you don't even know which door to knock on. If you don't know what you want, what are you seeking? And when you don't know what you want, that's when your faith goes into what you don't want. Keep tapping the screen, guys. Keep tapping, keep tapping. If you keep tapping, I'm gonna keep talking. If you don't know what you want, you don't what how do you use willpower to discipline your mind? Because the thing about the subconscious mind is it doesn't neglect information, it doesn't negate information. The subconscious mind doesn't negate information. Watch this. Whatever you do, don't think about a purple dog. No matter what you do, I don't want you to think about a purple dog. Now, when you try not to think about a purple dog, what happens? You pull the dog closer. And the harder you try not to think about the purple dog, the more you think about the purple dog. So if you want to not think about a purple dog, you want to know the easiest way to not think of a purple dog? What's going on? What's up, CC? The easiest way to not think about a purple dog is to think about a gold lion. Is to think about a blue giraffe. You don't tell the mind what not to do, you tell it what to do. You got to realize that not wanting to lose is not the same thing as wanting to win. Sound like the same thing on the surface, don't it? But not wanting to lose is not the same thing as wanting to win. Not wanting to be poor is not the same thing as wanting to be rich. I meet so many people who try not to be poor, who try not to be fat. Trying not to be fat is not going to get you to the gym and get you to stop eating carbs. You don't want to try not to be fat. You want to be slim. You want to be lean. You want to be fit. You want to be active. You don't tell yourself what not to do. Tell yourself what to do. But in order to do that, you got to ask the magic question. I keep asking y'all this because I want y'all to know this. What's the magic question? What's the magic question? The magic question is, what would I rather have? What would I rather have? You got to get in the habit of watching that magic question. Now, people who've been in here for a while, when we first started this, when we first started running the 5C process, let me show y'all how this worked. Let me show y'all how this worked. When we first started watching the 5C process, we had a problem. We had a problem. Problems are dope because problems are the launching pad for getting everything you desire. But we had a problem. Our problem was that it was only 8 people in the room. Our problem was that it was only 8 people in the room. But instead of focusing on the problem, we asked the magic question. Because this doesn't equal this. We asked the magic question. The magic question was, what would I rather have? I said I would rather have 50 people in the room. Then what did we do? We started calibrating to the 50 people. We didn't get under the influence of the 8 people that were here. We got under the influence of what we wanted. So I went ahead and started talking like it was 50 people in the room. I went ahead and started engaging like it was 50 people in the room. I didn't cross my arm and go, well, man, since there's only 8 people in here, I ain't finna bring out my best stuff yet, man. I'll bring out my stuff when people get in here. No, we went ahead and started acting as if it was 50 people in the room. Now, 7 minutes later, how many people in the room? You see how this stuff works? Law of attraction says like energy attracts that unto itself, right? So if let's say this is our measuring stick, and let's say this is the amount of people in the room, this is the amount of people I want in the room, and this red marker is me. I got a choice to make. Am I gonna vibrationally go here, or am I gonna vibrationally go there? Because what's gonna happen is if I vibrationally go here, guess what the law of attraction gonna do? Law of attraction gonna say, guess what? You got to raise up to here number of people in the room. But if I go down here, the law of attraction gonna say, oh, my work is done. The like energy attracted that unto itself. Stop calibrating to things that you don't want. Stop calibrating to things that you don't want. I need you to start being stubborn with your calibration. I need you to start asking the magic question. I don't like this. What would I rather have? I'd rather have this. And I need you to understand that every problem is a thinking problem. I don't care if it's a marriage. I don't care if it's losing weight. I don't care if it's making more money. I don't care if it's being more confident. You don't want to focus on the fact that you're not confident. You want to focus on, I want to be able to walk in the rooms with my shoulders back, my chest out, and my head up. You put the focus on what you want. You don't put your focus on not being unconfident. You put your focus in on being confident. You find people who are confident and you study their body language. You go, I can stand like that. I could talk like that. I could do that. You don't put your attention on what you don't want, and then from under the influence of what you don't want, because this is what people do. They think about what they don't want, and as they think about what they don't want, they go read books about what they do want, but they're a vibrational mismatch to the book. You read the book, but it got on you. It's not in you. You're reading Think and Grow Rich, but you're reading Think and Grow Rich from under the influence of what you don't want. So it's some stuff in the book that's going over your head because you're not under the influence of what you want. You're under the influence of what you don't want. You're doing your affirmations, but you're doing your affirmations from under the influence of what you don't want. So you're not doing affirmations to be rich. You're doing affirmations to not be poor, but you're still under the influence of being poor. You got to get under the influence of what you want, then do the affirmation. You got to get under the influence of what you want, then make the vision board. You got to get under the influence of what you want, and then pay for training. Do you explain mathematics? Yep, life mathematics, man. You could be, do, and have anything you desire. You could be, do, and have anything you desire, but you got to get clear on what you want. It's not enough to think about what you don't want. You got to get clear about what you would like to have. And then you got to plant the acorn. Manifestation mathematics. I like it. Every problem is a thinking problem. If it's a problem out there that lets me know that something is wrong in here, and you can't change out there without changing what's going on in here. You don't use willpower to change the body, you use willpower to change the mind. This stuff making sense? You don't use willpower to change the body. You use willpower to change the mind. Excuse me, you don't use willpower to stop smoking. You use willpower to think like a non smoker. And as you think like a non smoker, guess what happens? The cravings fall to the wayside. That makes sense. You don't use willpower. You can't make your heart beat faster with willpower, but you can make your heart beat faster with focus. I get sometimes people come to me for things like erectile dysfunction. You can't use willpower to make it stand up. You can use willpower to control your focus. And based on what you focus on, it'll stand itself up. Does that make sense? The harder you try, the harder you fail. In hypnosis, we call it the law of reverse action. The harder you try to be confident, the harder the harder it is for you to be confident. Because you start asking yourself stupid questions like, where do I put my hands? Is my body language good? Well, your hands were fine before you start asking silly questions. If you just let your hands go where your hands go, they're gonna fall right where they need to be. Does that make sense? But when you trying to you can't consciously be confident. You can't consciously be confident. You got to get clear about what you want and allow it to happen. You can't use willpower to make it happen. You use willpower in your alone time to discipline your thinking. You use willpower when you by yourself in your room alone. You go, if I was the most confident man in the world, how would I walk? And you, you just start walking. If I was the most confident man in the world, how would I stand when I wasn't doing anything? You ask these questions and you allow it to happen. You discipline your mind, and your mind controls the body. I want you to start looking at it like your car. Your job is to get in the driver's seat and drive the car. You not the engine. You don't need to get under the hood and go, well, I don't want to just drive. I want to do my part. Your part is holding the car in the road. You got to let the engine. You don't know how to engine. You got to let the transmission. You don't know how to transmission. And you're not doing nothing wrong by not knowing how to transmission. It's just not your job to transmission. Your job is to hold the car in the road. Your job is to control your focus. It's not your job to make it happen. It's your job to stay focused on the desired outcome. This is the magic of hypnosis, guys. This is how I take somebody who's been smoking for 45 years and in one session turn them into a non-smoker. I don't make them quit smoking. I get them to start feeling and thinking like a non-smoker. Now, when you feel and think like a non-smoker, guess what? You tend to not want to suck cigarettes out of a straw. Does that make sense? If somebody called me and say, hey, Coach Jay, I want to lose 100 pounds, I'm not going to tell them to go to Planet Fitness tomorrow. I'm going to say, what size shirt you want to wear? What size jeans you want to wear? What size dress you gonna wear? What's that one store that you really want to shop at, but right now you can't because they don't sell clothes for people your size? What's the number you want to see when you step on the scale? You got a scale? Describe the scale to me in your bathroom. Okay, it's silver and clear. Okay. I want you to imagine standing under that scale. I want you to really feel that scale under your feet right now. And I want you to look down and see that number that you want to see. And I want you to feel the excitement of seeing that number on that scale. And I want you to notice your coworkers going, "You look good, girl. Girl, what you been doing?" I want you to see these come. I want you to get under the influence of this desired income. And I want you to get calibrated to that feeling. I want you to start feeling sexy right now. I want you to start feeling energized right now. I don't want you to wait on the result. I want you to sit in that feeling right now. Then when I teach you how to hold on to that feeling, no matter what, now we're gonna go to Planet Fitness. But this gonna be the difference. Now it's not gonna be I gotta go to Planet Fitness. It's I get to go to Planet Fitness. You see the difference? It's not, oh man, let me go to the gym. It's I get to go to the gym. Like the example that we used to use in live all the time. If I start doing a competition on TikTok, right? I need you guys to keep tapping. Keep tap, tapping. You keep tapping, I'm gonna keep talking. But imagine if I was doing a live on TikTok and every month I did a giveaway for $500,000, $500,000. Let's say you've been coming to the live for 3 months and you've seen three people win. Let's say month number 4, you win the $500,000. And I call you on the phone. I said, congratulations, you just won the $500,000. Only thing is, you got to be in my office in Dallas, Texas by 5 p.m. tomorrow. You think you'll be able to figure out how to get in Dallas, Texas by 5 p.m. tomorrow? You think you'll need a motor? You think you'll need a pep talk to come to Dallas tomorrow and get your money? You think you need to call your therapist first? You think you'll need to call your pastor first? You think you would figure it out, right? What if you had a headache? You think you still would figure it out? What if you couldn't find nobody to watch your kids? You think you'll still figure it out? What if your best friend was in the hospital, had cancer? You hold on, best friend. I'm gonna be right back, okay? Hang on. I'm gonna be right back. And I'm talking less than 24 hours. If you knew exactly what you stood to gain by being in Dallas, Texas by 5 p.m. tomorrow, you would figure it out. Now, what if it was just $1,000? You think you would still have that same type of energy? What if you didn't believe me? What if you was like, this man not finna give me 5,000? This man not finna give me $500,000. I'm not even finna waste my time. Now, if you didn't believe it was $500,000 waiting for you, then you wouldn't have that same problem solving capability. But it works the same way with your goals. If you really thought that book had $500,000 attached to it, if you really thought that book was a New York Times bestseller and could change your life and your children's life and your future generations' life, you would have that same type of energy towards working on that book. The problem isn't that you can't write the book. The problem is you haven't bought into that the book is what you say it is. You say it because it sounds good, but you haven't really bought into the fact that that book is what you say it is. If you get bought into the book, if you get the mind wrapped around this book gonna change my life, we're not gonna have a hard time getting you to write the book. We're gonna have a hard time getting you to stop writing. If you really get bought into the fact that going to the gym is gonna give me the body I want, going to the gym is gonna give me the stamina I want, going to the gym is gonna increase my confidence through the roof, we ain't gotta work hard to get you to the gym. We gotta make you get out of the gym so you can do other things. The problem isn't that you don't that you can't do it. The problem is that you don't feel like doing it. But the reason you don't feel like doing it is because you haven't sent the mind there fully. If you send the mind there, the body will figure out the rest. You don't make it happen. You allow it to happen. But you gotta send the mind. You gotta send the mind. Does this stuff make sense, y'all? We finna get ready to land in a little bit. Do we got any questions? I'm finna load you guys up with some freebies here in a little while. Let you know where to find our replays at, how to get notifications through your text messages when we go live. And we got some other stuff coming up too, man. We got some other stuff coming up too. No questions. I done worked up a sweat, y'all. But if you could think it, you could do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. But if you could think it, you could do it. And the good news is, like I say, you can think it. The only thing that can stop you from thinking it is you. But I want you to remember the takeaway for the day is willpower. You don't use it to discipline your body. You use willpower to control your mind. For sure, for sure. So, guys, if you want access to the replays, what's up, Moon? What you're going to do when we end the live is you're going to go onto my TikTok page. You're going to click on the link on my TikTok, and you're going to fill out that form. That's going to put you in the 5C inner circle. If you want to know more about 5C and really have it unpacked for you, there's a free 5C training if you go to the link on my TikTok page. Let me see. I'll show y'all what it looked like. Give me a second. Let me see. Can I pull it up? I can. I can. I can. Let me see. So if you go on my TikTok page, let's see. Let's flip this around. You go on my TikTok page, it looks like this. So if you haven't hit that follow button, you're gonna hit that follow button. But you're gonna click on this link right here. It's gonna say, hey, you're leaving TikTok. You sure? Yep. You're gonna say open anyway. Then it's gonna take you to this page. And you're gonna see this right here. Join my inner circle to get access to all of my replays, free trainings, and special deals. Put your name and your phone number and click that button. That's gonna put you in our inner circle. Now, if you click right here, you can get signed up for our free 5C workshop. It's a video that you watch. It's about 35 minutes long. Oh no, it's 5 of them, Danae. All 5 of them, you get access to them just by clicking here. I got a mastermind where we work with entrepreneurs. If you want to join that mastermind, it's $1 for lifetime access. You can join the mastermind. If you want to apply for my 5C Growth Accelerator program, you can click right here. There is a cost investment to the 5C Growth Accelerator, but it's worth every penny and some more. And down here, we just got different reviews and different things. But the link is in the profile. And Danae, if you want to get them other 2Cs, they right here in the free 5C workshop. Go check them out. Take some good notes. But that's it, guys. That is it. That is it. That is it. Stay focused on what you desire. Control your thinking. I want you to start thinking on purpose. I want you to get in the habit of telling your feelings how to feel and telling your thoughts what to think. Being happy is a decision. I'm not saying it's always the easiest decision to make, but it's a decision. Being rich is a decision. I'm not saying it's always the easiest decision to make, but at the end of the day, it's a decision. If you're not willing to make the decision, then you're not ever going to experience that. It's going to start as a decision. You got to send your mind there before your body will go. Your body can't go anywhere that the mind hasn't traveled. So you got to open your mind to the possibility first. Y'all know what I used to always say. I want the people who come here, I want y'all to be the type of people who see oak trees where other people see acorns. I want us to be the type of people who see full blown businesses where other people see, man, that's a good idea. Too bad. Insert random excuse. Everything around you was a thought before it was a thing. This microphone was an idea before it was a microphone. This marker was an idea before it was a marker. This Apple Watch was an idea before it was an Apple Watch. This hat was an idea before it was an Apple Watch. But I couldn't put this hat on my head until I got the concept of this hat in my head. I couldn't put the money in my bank account until I got the concept of the money. But let me tell you something, the money showed up a very short time after I learned how to hold it consistently in my head. It didn't show up when I held it for 30 seconds, then spent the rest of my day living in lack. It didn't show up when I was just able to hold it sometimes. It showed up when it became the dominating center of my focus. It showed up when I didn't care what they said on CNN. I don't do recessions. I'm in high demand. I don't care what the money went. It's out there. If somebody got some, I'm gonna have some of it. The money showed up when I learned how to remain permanently in that vibration. So you can't do your affirmation in the morning, then leave the affirmation in the mirror and go out and live otherwise the rest of the day. I want you to realize that you're not just affirming when you do affirmations. Every thought that you think is an affirmation. Every action that you take is an affirmation. You can go, I am lean, I am fit, but if you go out and eat a sleeve of Oreos, that's an affirmation too. You can go, I am rich, I am wealthy, but when you stressing over finances and you letting your mind just spiral and go all over the place, that's an affirmation as well. We was talking about it earlier. The word manifest means to make obvious to the eye or the mind. It doesn't mean to hope for, it doesn't mean to wish for, it means to make it obvious. What do you want to happen? You got to make it obvious to your mind that it's already happening. You got to start celebrating the small steps along the way. You got to realize that there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is feedback that you choose to put a negative perspective on. Failure is just doubt. Failure is just that. It's not good. It's not bad. It's information. Utilize the information. Okay? Don't get hypnotized by failure. Go, what can I learn from this? And keep moving. It's only failure if you give up. It's only failure if you give up. Guys, the reason I can start a business like that now is because I ruined a few businesses. But in the process of ruining a few businesses, guess what? I learned I got really good at starting businesses. I got really good at creating additional streams of income. But you know how I learned how to create additional streams of income? Screwing up at creating additional streams of income. Now I do it on accident. I'll be live and I'll say something like, man, I should put that on a t-shirt. That t-shirt might make an extra $500 next month. It was just something that came out of my mouth and I went, oh wow, that would work. I can get a concept for a website. 20 minutes later, it's built. But that came from failing. Okay, you got to be willing to fail to succeed. Failure is a part of success, but you can't frame it as failure. It's feedback. It's information. It's information. Take the information and keep moving. But you got to have a goal that you're moving toward. You can't just be randomly failing and keep going. You got to go, this is what I'm working towards. I tried this and this didn't work. I'm still aiming for this, but what can I learn from this thing that didn't go how I wanted it to go? Does that make sense? Failure is not a sign to give up, it's a sign to dig deeper. Failure is learning. Exactly. Failure is learning. How you think Steph Curry got to the point where he have a hard time missing shots? Bro, it's an old Sprite commercial where they got Larry Bird in the commercial and they want him to miss a shot. It took 7 takes for him to miss the shot. He was trying to miss it on purpose. He had repetitiously made it so much. He it took him 7 times to miss. like imagine that. You are struggling to miss, but you gotta have a goal. Gotta have a goal. If you guys keep tapping, we're gonna run through the 5 C's one more time because I only gave you three. Somebody like, hey, I thought it was five. I thought it was only three of them. We'll run through the 5 C's. If you guys can commit, if you can tap, if you can stay engaged with me, help me keep the energy up, we can go through the 5 C's. That's nuts, right? But imagine if you got yourself going on the type of momentum where you couldn't lose for winning. Like we've heard the saying, I can't win for losing. But what if, oh, I like that. Tapping is clapping. Let's pin that to the top. I'm still in that, CC. Appreciate you. I'm still in that. We put that on the t-shirt. I cut you in, CC. Yeah, tapping is clapping. I like that. I like that. Tapping is clapping. For sure, for sure. Keep clapping, y'all. Keep clapping. Okay, so the first C is clarity. Clarity. Oh, let me put y'all in the frame. The first C is clarity. You can't get what you want until you know what you want. And you can't have clarity about what you don't want. We got to do like we did at the beginning of this live. We saw something we didn't like, and we said, what would I rather have? What would I rather have? You got to get in the habit of getting clarity on what you would rather have. You got to learn how to see this thing that you don't like, but instead of focusing on it, using it as the lunching pad to get clear on what you want. What happens is, guys, when we go through life, we're going to notice things that we don't like. But there's a part of us. You can call it your inner being. You can call it God. You can call it your soul. This is not the live where I tell you what to call it. This is the live where I tell you how to use it. Call it what you want. I don't care what you call it. But what happens is when you see something that you don't like, there's a part of you that instantly shoots over here towards what you would rather desire, to what you would rather have. Now, what you got to do is get in alignment with this. And the more out of alignment you are with this, the worse you feel. You can blame it on your boss. You can blame it on your husband. You can blame it on the kids. You can blame it on the weather. But that uncomfortable feeling that you feel inside, because keep in mind, the feeling that you feel is in here. It's not out there. The depression is in here. It's not out there. The anxiety is in here. It's not out there. Now, you can't control out there, but you got full control over in here. You keeping up? You can't control that, but you can control this. Like, this is what you look like trying to control that. If y'all said, "Hey Jay, you got something on your face," and instead of wiping my face, I started wiping my phone. I said, "Hold on, it's not working. Let me." And what most people do is instead of just wiping their face, they'll wipe the phone harder. But that uncomfortable feeling you feel is not a matter of changing this. It's a matter of taking your attention off of it. You don't change this, you stop focusing on this. You can't clean the 3D reflection. Exactly. So the magic is asking yourself, what would I rather have? Let's work through this with a real life example. Somebody give me a situation or something that we can run through this with. It could be money, it could be a relationship, it could be confidence. Give me let's run through 5C with a real life scenario. Yeah, let's run through money. Okay. So let's say I'm looking at my bank account, and in my bank account, I see lack of money. So let me put the 5 C's where y'all can see them: clarity, calibration, confidence, competence, consistency. Okay. So the first C is clarity. Right now, it's clear to me that I got a lack of money. That's not where I need the clarity at. That's not where I need the clarity at. I need the clarity on what I would rather have. So let's say I think about it. I'm looking at this lack of money, and I decide in order to live comfortably, I need $6,000 a month. So I'm gonna take my attention off of the lack of money, and I'm gonna put my attention on what I would rather have, which in this case is $6,000 a month. That's how we get the clarity. Does that make sense? I got to get under the influence of what I want. But before I can get under the influence of what I want, I got to get clear of what I want. What most people do is they look at the lack of money and they go, man, I don't have enough money. Nobody I know has enough money. My mama don't have enough money. My daddy don't have enough money. You know what? It's really my parents' fault. If I was born in a different family, I would have money. If I was born under a different moon sign, I would have another money. But the problem is I'm a Pisces, or the problem is I'm a Cancer, and I got this thing going on. And this is why I don't have a lack of money. But if I didn't have this thing going on, I wouldn't have a lack of money. But we get mesmerized by the lack of money. Clarity is about saying, okay, lack of money. Thank you for making yourself known. What would I rather have? Gratitude for bringing them to my attention. I'm glad that it is in my awareness now that there is a lack of money. Now that I know that there is a lack of money, what would I rather have? And instead of getting mesmerized by this, I now get mesmerized by this. I desire $6,000 a month. $6,000 a month would allow me to take care of myself and my kids comfortably. $6,000 a month will allow me to come out of this cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. $6,000 a month will allow me to start saving. Now that I got clear about what I want to start talking about how it makes me feel. This is where we get into calibration. So I know what I want. Now I got to get calibrated to $6,000 a month. How do I get calibrated to $6,000 a month? That's not here yet. Well, you get calibrated to $6,000 a month that's not here yet, the same way that you can get nervous about something that might happen a month from now. Imagine if you pull into your driveway and notice an eviction notice on your door. You think you're gonna start to feel emotions 30 days from now? You think you're gonna feel emotions as soon as you see that pink slip and you start reading it and notice what it say? Even though the what's on the paper is not gonna happen for 30 days, you can start to respond to it emotionally right here, right now, right? Or you could think about something that happened 10 years ago or 20 years ago and you can respond to it. It can make you sad, it can make you angry, it can make you upset. If you can get upset about something that happened 10 years ago, you don't think you can get excited about something that might happen in 6 months? So what you're gonna start doing is you're gonna start enjoying the money before it even show up. Like I was telling y'all, when my daughter asks me for things, she don't beg. She comes in and she go, "Daddy, I just saw this dollhouse on TV, and when I get it, Daddy, I'm gonna put it right beside my other dollhouse, Daddy. And 5 of my Barbies gonna live in that dollhouse, and my other 10 Barbies gonna live in this new dollhouse, Daddy, because it's bigger than the old one." And that's her dad watching my little mini creator create. I'm like, that's dope. My baby building subdivisions in her bedroom. I'm like, yo, baby, is this thing at Target? Is this thing at Amber? Where is this dollhouse at? And her mama going, Jay, she don't need another dollhouse. She already got one. Look, you didn't see her face. She already excited about it. My baby's building subdivisions in her bedroom, and I want to help. My little creator is creating, and I want to help. And I want to help. Hold on, we gotta let TikTok know that we still live. Let me drag this. They got me dragging a puzzle piece to make sure that I ain't just got like a recording plan for y'all. Give me a sec. All right, there we go. Okay, but imagine if she came in here and went, "Daddy, that old dollhouse is stupid. I've had it for 2 years. It's too small for all of my Barbies, and I don't like it. I need another one." If she came to me under the influence of what she didn't want, she gonna be complaining. She gonna be ungrateful. And it's very easy for me to say no to her when she's vibrating there. You see the difference? It's one thing when she go, "Daddy, when I get this new dollhouse, I'm gonna put it right beside my other dollhouse. It's gonna be lit." But it's completely different if she go, "Daddy, that old dollhouse you got me is stupid. All of my Barbies can't even fit in. What am I supposed to do with it? Do you think I'm in a hurry to get her a new dollhouse then? I'm gonna go, Riley already got a dollhouse that you don't even appreciate. Get out of my office. I'm working, I'm busy. How about you go clean your room up? Apparently you need something to do. I'm gonna find her some chores. She seems, I'm like, oh, you bored? I got something for you to do. I got something for you to do. So what a lot of people do is they'll be under the influence of the lack of money and they trying to problem solve from there. You don't got access to your best ideas from there. Do yourself a favor and get under the influence of the $6,000. And instead of working on the problem, build the solution. I don't want you working on the problem. I don't want you working on the lack of money. I want you to take your attention off of the lack of money and focus on what you would rather have. That's what clarity is all about. Getting clear on what you would rather have. You got to know what you want before you can focus on what you want. So that's clarity. Do we got clarity? I got to look at what I don't want and ask myself what would I rather have. If you really want to get deep on clarity, if you go onto that link in my bio, there's a form called the 5C Clarity Blueprint that you can fill out. It's going to ask you a lot of questions. What do you want? How will you know when you get it? What additional resources will you need to get it? What resources do you already have that's gonna help you get it? I have all my clients fill this form out. It's gonna help you get the clarity you need. Because we simplifying this, because but this 6,000 is what you want. But what thing you gotta understand, we're gonna come back to calibration in a moment. But I need you guys to understand this. And it ties into calibration. So you got one mind, but the one mind operates as two minds. I need you guys to keep tapping. Tapping is clapping. So if you hear some stuff that's clap worthy, tap the screen. If it's not clap worthy, then don't even stick around for it if it's not clap worthy. But okay, we got this right here. This is the mind when you're first born. Now, the mind is a blank slate when you're first born, except for what we call the primitive mind. And the primitive mind is where we have fight, flight, and freeze. Y'all heard that term before? Fight, flight, freeze. Okay, so as a baby, you only have two ways to trigger fight, flight, or freeze. People who've been rocking with me for a moment know those two ways. New people might not know those two ways. What are the two ways to trigger fight, flight, or freeze for a baby? You only got two ways when you first get here. Let me see what y'all remember because we took a break from going live for a while. We just started going back. Thanks for the likes, y'all. Appreciate you. Let's get it up to 10,000. Loud sounds is one of them. What's another one? We got loud sounds. What's another one? The falling. Yep, heights and falling. So the only two ways to get a baby into fight or flight is loud noises and falling. You could talk to the baby about the recession. It's not going into fight or flight. You can tell the baby that it's ugly. It's not going to fight or flight. You can tell the baby that it's stupid. You can talk to it about COVID. You could put a newborn baby on a stage in front of 10,000 people and it's not going to get nervous. It's just not. What recession? But what happens is between the ages of 0 and 8, you start making what we call associations. You start learning through a process that we call identification and association. Let's say you grow up in a house with a dog. You might identify this dog and you might start making positive associations towards this dog. I play with this dog, I cuddle with this dog protects me. If you get attacked by a dog, you might make some negative associations towards dogs. Two people can be looking at the same exact dog, but they'll have two completely different experiences based off these associations. But let's say you grew up in a house where any of y'all ever got this talk? We about to go in this store. Don't touch nothing. Don't ask for nothing. You're not getting nothing. Every time I ask you to do something, you got your lips poked out. Don't take your ass in the store begging. You not getting anything. Anybody ever got that talk? So what happens? You just made a bunch of negative associations towards money. You just made a bunch of negative associations towards money. So it happened between the ages of 0 and 8. But when you got a job and it's time to ask for a raise, those negative associations towards money don't just disappear. They don't just disappear. When it's time to charge a customer, let's say you a coach and you got a package that costs $10,000. When it's time to tell a customer, yeah, okay, we can start working on Monday, but this package costs $10,000. Those negative associations around money don't just disappear. We finna talk about it, Paul. We finna talk about it. We gotta it's levels to it. We gotta build a foundation first. So if you got those foundations, we gotta do something about it. Now, around the age of 9, you start to develop what we call the critical mind. And the critical mind, what it does is it serves as a gatekeeper for these associations. The critical mind is half subconscious and half conscious. Okay? So we got our subconscious mind, we got our conscious mind, and we got the critical mind that separates the two minds. Now, the subconscious mind is where all our associations lie. We'll have some positive associations down here, we'll have some negative associations down here. And the subconscious mind, we say positive and negative, but the subconscious mind don't work by positive and negative. It works by familiar and unfamiliar. If it's familiar, it pulls it close. If it's unfamiliar, it pushes it away. Maybe as a year because I jumped into it. Yes, like, for sure, for sure. So the conscious mind, let's look at the faculties of the conscious mind. The conscious mind runs off of, oh wow, I just went blank. The conscious mind runs off of logic. There we go. Reason. It's time for me to eat. Analysis, willpower, and decision making. Those are the faculties of the conscious mind: logic, reason, analysis, willpower, and decision making. Where the subconscious mind, let's make some room. Subconscious mind runs off of feeling. That's an E. Feeling and emotion. Now, this is where it gets crazy. The subconscious mind is 98% of your thinking potential. If the subconscious mind is 98, what percent does that leave for our friend, the conscious mind? A mere 2%. A mere 2%. Okay? So we got our subconscious mind and we got our conscious mind. The subconscious mind runs off feeling and emotion and is 98% of our thinking potential. The conscious mind runs off logic, reason, analysis, willpower, and decision making, and it runs off 2%. So somebody was asking, how do I change these associations? I tell you how you don't change it. You don't change it with the 2%. You don't change it with logic, reason, analysis, willpower, and decision making. Have you ever tried to change the way you feel using logic? Have you ever tried just old fashioned common sense to stop anxiety? Like, let's say you got social anxiety and you get it a 2%, and you go, well, I'm a person just like them. I have nothing to be afraid of. You know what? I'm just going to put my shoulders back. I'm going to do this breathing technique and I'm going to do it anyway. How did that work out for you? Not so much, huh? What happens, what you did there is you tried to put 2% up against 98%. Anytime you put 2% up against 98%, the 98% is going to win. The 98% is going to win. So what happens is, around the age of 9, we develop what's known as the critical mind. And the critical mind is where you actually start to think critically. Before you have a critical mind, if somebody tells you it's a dinosaur outside with candy, you might just go, ooh, candy, I like candy. And you try to run outside and get the candy. Now, once you develop a critical mind, you might say, wait a minute, dinosaurs are extinct. And even if they weren't extinct, they would eat me if I went out there. So you start to think critically around the age of 9. Around the age of 8, 9, that's when most people probably stop believing in Santa Claus. They go, hey, hold on, wait a minute. You telling me the one fat man with some reindeers give toys to everybody in the world? What about that one kid in my school who dad's lost his job? He didn't get anything for like around the age of 9, you start to ask those types of questions. That's the critical mind at work. But guess what? The critical mind is being critical with the job of protecting these associations. So you're thinking critically, but you already got 8 years of programming before the critical thinking started. Does that make sense? And you think critical, but it's in protection of these associations that you got. So if you got negative associations around money, Coach Jay get on here and say, man, if you could hold that number in your head and get yourself to believe it, you'll start moving towards that number naturally. You might the critical mind will go, man, it can't be that simple. I done tried. If it was that simple, I would have been rich already. You don't understand my past. You don't know what I done been. I tried this, I had this. The critical mind gonna start throwing me reasons why that's not true. So new information comes in. If if it aligns with what you believe to be true down here, the critical mind will let it in. But if it doesn't align with that, the critical mind will kick it out. So the way that we start to change it is we gotta poke a hole in the critical mind, and we gotta go in here and start turning some of these negative associations into positive associations. That's what hypnosis is all about. Hypnosis is all about putting a hole in the critical mind, not destroying it, but poking a small hole in the critical mind and starting to change the way you feel. Think about it. Your feeling has a funny way of becoming your sense of I am. When you feel sleepy, you don't say I feel sleepy, you say I'm sleepy. When you feel hungry, you don't say I feel hungry, you say I'm hungry. When you feel depressed. You don't say I feel depressed. You say I'm depressed. Like you see how your sense of self follows how you feel. People who come to me for coaching, somebody's comments got filtered. But people who come from me for coaching, the problem is very rarely I don't know how to do it. The problem is usually I don't feel like doing it, or I don't feel like the type of person that can do it. Like when people coming to me to help them lose weight, the problem is not they don't know how to lose weight. They know to eat less carbs, move their body more, drink more water, get more. They know the 2% knows what to do, but the 98 has negative associations around doing it. The work that we do is we open up the critical mind and get new information into the subconscious mind. I don't teach logic, reason, analysis, willpower, and decision making. You don't feel like going live. But if you made new associations around going live, if we got new associations in the subconscious mind going, these lives are changing women's lives. These lives are changing men's life. These lives are giving people around the world information that they wouldn't have otherwise. These lives are helping me to fuel my business. These lives are, if we change your associations around going live, all of a sudden you feel like going live. Now, when you feel like doing something, it's very hard for somebody to get you not to do something you feel like doing. Let's look at like sexual urges, for instance. When you feel like doing that, man, you would drive across town. You would drive the next state over if the feeling is there. Now, if the feeling not there, like yeah, like, it ain't worth the drive. But if the feeling is there, the feeling will justify the drive, right, Moon? And when the feeling is there, you ain't got to make the body respond. The body follows the feeling. Makes sense? So how do we start to change the feeling? Well, we got to open up the critical mind. Now, let's make this simple. When you watch TV, you know it's not real. The 2% logic, reason, analysis, willpower, and decision making knows that it's not real, knows that it's scripted, knows that those are actors and they are acting. But in the case of watching a movie, you can still watch. Guilty, maybe not guilty. I don't know. But when you're watching a movie, even though you know it's not real, even though the 2% know it's not real, if the 98% say it's time to cry, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna cry. If the 2%, let's say you're watching a comedian and the comedian making a joke that you find funny, but you know your partner might not find funny. So you try to hold it in. The 2% use logic to go, don't laugh at that. She gonna feel some type of way. But if it's funny enough to the 98% and the 98% decide, hey, it's time to laugh, guess what's gonna happen? You gonna laugh and ain't nothing you can do about it. In fact, the harder you try not to laugh, the harder you're going to laugh. We call it the law of reverse action. The harder you try to get the 98% to do something that it doesn't want to do, the harder it's going to do it. Like you ever had an itch? Like I remember being in the military, we'll be standing at attention sometimes. And boy, it's like your jaw or somewhere on your body will start itching. And because you can't move and you can't scratch it, oh man, it's itching. And the more you you want to scratch it, the more it itches. You ever had a situation like that? Of course you have. But let's talk about what happens when you watch a movie. When you watch a movie, these are professional actors. They know how to make facial expressions. They know how to cry on command. They know how to do things with their body language. They know how to do things with their voice to help you take in the emotion that they want you to feel. When you watch a movie, there's soundtracks, there's lighting, there's things for all five senses to get you to start. Even though you know it's not real, they make it real enough that you can respond to it. You ever seen like a commercial with a steak or a cheeseburger or something on? It's like you can taste it, you can smell it. You're like, what is going on here? That's what happens when the critical mind opens. That's what happens when we get the critical mind open. So your affirmations can open up your critical mind, but the thing about it is you gotta use feeling and emotion. A lot of people do affirmations, but they doing affirmations up here in the 2%. They doing affirmations, they using their logic, their reason, and their analysis. I want this because I want this. I want the $6,000 so I can pay my bills. Let me tell you something. That doesn't strike up a feeling. That doesn't strike up an emotion. I want the $6,000 so that I can pay my taxes. That doesn't strike up a feeling. That doesn't strike up an emotion. I like the freedom that come with having that $6,000 a month. I love the freedom. I love not having to call people and borrow money. I love knowing that I'm providing for my children. I love being able to confidently walk in the store and just put what I need in my cart and not look at prices. I want to just be able to just throw it in the fucking bag and get out of this. Now I'm generating emotion. Now I'm making new associations. You gotta generate emotion. I talk about it all the time. I work out anywhere between 5 and 7 days a week, but I'm not thinking about getting my blood pressure down to get in the gym. I'm not thinking about getting my A1C or making sure I don't have diabetes. I'm thinking about looking good naked. I'm thinking about stamina for adult activities. I'm thinking about being able to compete and beat my son and my nephews in races and being able to keep up with them and compete. I'm thinking, you walk around here looking fine, you ain't finna be finer than me. You ain't finna be the only one walking around here fine. I'm thinking about being at the beach with my shirt off. I'm thinking about the emotional things that make me feel like going to the gym. Once I feel like going to the gym, it is very easy to get to the gym. I'm making associations down here and I'm letting associations change the way I feel. And that's what stage two is all about, calibration. Calibration is all about getting in here and making the necessary associations so that you feel like you need to feel to do what you need to do to have the things that you want to have. Does that make sense? You guys stop tapping on me. Keep tapping. We got some more C's to get through. We only got through two of them. So I use the 2% on stage one. I use my conscious mind to get clear about what I want. I use my logic, my reason, and my analysis and my willpower to say, I don't like this. This is what I'd rather have. That's this part of the mind's job. I use it to decide what I would rather have. But after I know what I want, I'm done using the conscious mind. It's time to start using this 98%. The 98% runs off of feeling and emotion. So it's time to stop thinking in terms of logic and reason. It's time to stop thinking about why I should be doing it and think about the reasons I want to do it. Why do I want the $6,000? And like you got to get into them petty reasons, the reasons you might not even want to say out loud. The reasons like you might not even mention in front of certain people. What are the real reasons you want to see? Well, I want the $6,000 so I can provide for my children. Yeah, 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 yeah. What else? I hear you, but what else? I want to get a new car. I want to pull into the driveway, and I want my neighbor because he always looking over here. I want him to see me. Yeah, I want him to see me pull up in a new car. Thank you all that because they got their new car. I want to pull up in one too. I want to pick my kids up from school in that new car. I'm tired of pulling up in the one that's squeaking and their friends laughing at my kids. I want to pull up to my. You see what I'm saying? Why do you really you want to stop not what you want to stop doing, Danae, what you want to start doing? We up here when we talking about we using logic, reason, and analysis when we talking about what we want to stop doing. Forget that. What do you want to start doing? You want to stop stressing and start doing what? You want to stop stressing. What do you rather have? That's back to step one. That's back to clarity. What do I rather have? What's going on, baby? What's up? What's up? What's up? What do you want? What do you want? Because thinking about that, that's what's gonna change the way you feel. So y'all heard me talk about feel, think, act, right? If you feel different, you'll think different on accident. And if you think different, you'll act different on accident. Like imagine you're in a relationship with somebody, right? You could think of times throughout the day when you like, man, I could lay up under this person all day. When you feel a certain way, you thinking about the stuff they do for you, you thinking about the things you do for them, you think about the good times y'all have, and that causes you to act a certain way. But if you start feeling different, if you start feeling annoyed, if you start feeling like you need space, if you start feeling like they're not carrying their fair share of the load, that changes the way you think. And you ain't got to try to treat them different. You're going to treat them different on accident. So, Danae, what I'm hearing is you want freedom. You want the freedom to come and go as you fucking please. You don't want to have to ask nobody. You want to clock in when you want to clock in. You want to clock out when you want to clock out. You want to leave when you want to leave. And if you ride with me, you better beat me to the car. You want the confidence that comes with it. Like you see, even as you hear me saying this, I bet you're starting to feel different inside, right? That's what calibration is about. As you start describing what you want, you start moving towards it. As you start describing what you don't want, you start moving towards it. What most people do is they describe the hell out of what they don't want and wonder why they calibrated to it. Well, you on the phone talking about it. And you spend more time thinking about the absence of what you want instead of thinking about what you want. Thinking about the absence of what you want is not the same thing as thinking about what you want. Like, let's say you at this job and you don't like the job. And you decide, I don't like this job. They underpay me and overwork me. They don't appreciate what I do. They don't appreciate my value. I'm quitting. I'm going to get a new job. But you go to the new interview and you go to the interview, but you're under the influence of the job that you don't like. So when they say, well, why are you leaving your old company? Well, they don't treat me right. I don't like it there. No, they don't pay me enough. A company with a healthy culture not finna hire your mad, grouchy ass and bring you into their culture. So if you finna take that same attitude into this new job, well, it ain't gonna be no new job to take the same attitude into because you're not gonna get hired. What's going on, job? You got to get from under the influence of the old job. Now you got to understand, your body can physically be somewhere you don't want to be, and your mind can be somewhere else completely. Understand, like Malcolm X didn't become Malcolm X at a university. Malcolm X went to jail as this guy named Detroit Red. And he came out of jail as this guy that we know as Malcolm X. He became Malcolm X. He transitioned from a gangster to a scholar to a freedom. Call him what you want, but he made that transition in prison. His body was in prison, but his mind was far from it. Okay, Chop, who you got? Does that make sense? His body was in prison, but his mind was somewhere completely different. For sure. He got to type it in the chat. His body was one place, but his mind was some. You got to understand, your body can be at a job that you hate, but your mind can be in your own business. I used to be in the military. I hated it. Hated being in the military. But towards the tail end of my career, my body was in the camouflage, but my mind was in entrepreneurship. And guess what? My body had no choice but to catch up with my mind. What's going on, Nate? And guess what? My body had no choice but to catch up with my mind. What's going on, Nate? Catch up with my mind. You gotta look at what you don't want and use your 2% to go, what would I rather have? For sure, for sure. I've always, yeah, you're gonna start using your language different. I used to be that way. You're gonna start saying so you be like, old me. I tell you, old me would have slapped the shit out of you. New me, don't new me got stuff to lose. You're gonna start recognizing the old you and you're gonna start detaching from it. That would have stressed the old me out. Start recognizing the old you and you're gonna start detaching from it. That would have stressed the old me out. You would have spent the rest of the day thinking about that. New me gonna apply the 5C concept to this. What would I rather have? It's so dope when you start seeing old you. Like, oh, old me, caught you. Old me would have reacted this way, not new me. But you gotta define new me. Who is new me? Who is the new Danae? Danae 2.0. And the dope thing about it is you can consciously decide. Guys, we got to learn when to use the conscious mind and when to use the subconscious mind. When it's a decision to be made, we use the 2%. But when it's time to get the decision done, we use the subconscious mind. I use my conscious mind to decide I want to be a successful entrepreneur. I want to be a hypnotherapist. I want to coach entrepreneurs, high performers, and professional athletes all over the world. I use my conscious mind to decide that, but I use my subconscious mind to go inside and imagine a version of me that can do it and trust that part of me to fill in the gaps. Like right now, like a while ago, I decided to go live. I logically decided. I was like, I'm done working for the day. I already worked out, got that out of the way. I want to go live. I used my conscious mind and decided to go live. But now that I'm live, I'm using my subconscious mind to just get in the flow state. I'm not on the live overthinking like what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna do. My subconscious mind knows my goal, knows my objective, and it's filling in the middle. I'd rather write books. What type of books? You want to write books for children? You want to write books for adults? You want to write fiction? You want to write nonfiction? As you start to fill in those details, you're going to wake up the creator in you. As you start to fill in those details, self help. Why you want to write self help? Why you want to write self help? That's the conversation you got to have. Go to the link in the bio when we done and fill out the 5C clarity form in terms of writing your self help book. That's gonna get you on the track that you need to be on to help you get clarity on what you want. And once you know what you want, Next phase is to get calibrated to it. You calibrate to it by making associations that make you feel like doing it. You gotta feel like you got a self-help book in you. You gotta feel like that book gonna change lives. You gotta feel like that book not only gonna change your life, but it's gonna change your children's life and your future generations' life. You gotta feel. And when you feel, you ain't got no choice but to do. Okay? So we talked about clarity, we talked about calibration. The next C is confidence. What is confidence? Confidence is when you got these associations so strong that it don't matter what happened out there, you still feel like the type of person that could do it. I got my positive associations so strong that I can go sit in a room and it only five people in there, but I got so many of these positive associations that it don't change the way I show up in the life. Confidence is when I got these associations so strong. If 5,000 people in here, I'm not gonna be nervous. Why would I be nervous? I feel like I'm the dopest speaker in the world. I feel like I can motivate, lift up, inspire anybody. I got these associations so rehearsed. I've ran through these associations so many times. My 98% is so convinced. It don't matter what they say on CNN. It don't matter if it's five people in the room or 5,000 people in the room. If I have a slow week, oh well, next week gotta be better. Can't get shit, can't get worse than this. But that's what confidence is all about. Having the 98% so conditioned. I feel so worthy. I feel so unstoppable. I feel so at home when I think about that thing that nobody's gonna stop me from thinking about that thing. My partner don't gotta believe in it. I appreciate it when they do, but I'm not calibrated to what my partner thinks about my goal. I'm calibrated to my goal. I'm not calibrated to whether my mama think I can do it or not. I love it when people cheer me on, but I'm not gonna stop chasing it just because somebody else can't see the vision. That's what confidence is about. I'm so calibrated. I'm so locked in that the 3D is not going to deter me from going after what I set myself up for. That's confidence. That's what I mean when I say confidence. It don't matter if it's 18 people in here or 18,000 people in here. Confidence allows me to show up and do what I got to do. I'm locked in, not to that number. I'm not confident in that number. I'm confident in my goal. I'm not confident in that circumstance. I'm confident in me and my ability to have this thing that I set out for. That's confidence. Okay. Now, after confidence, we get to competence. Guys, hear me when I say this. Let me erase this and write this real, real big. Let me erase this and write this real, real big. I need you guys tapping the screen. My good friend CC said that tapping is clapping. Tapping is clapping. So I need you guys tapping, 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 clapping, 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 or I'm gonna assume you guys got what you need. Keep clapping. Keep clapping. Okay, so guys, step 4 is not step 1. Step 4 is step 4. Step 4 is not step 1. A lot of times people make the mistake of thinking that step 4 is step 1. People get an idea for a business. People get a desire in their head and they go right to step 4. Like we originally started out talking about money. I want to make $6,000 a month, right? Some people might say, I'm gonna start another business. You know what? I'm gonna start doing yards on the weekend. I need to make more money. I'm gonna start doing yards on the weekend. If you start doing yards on the weekend with no clarity, no calibration, and no confidence, the first minor excuse you get to quit, you gonna take it. If you want to lose weight, you say, I want to lose 45 pounds. I'm going to start going to the gym tomorrow. If you go to the gym without clarity, without calibration, without confidence, the first excuse that you get to quit going, the first time it's the slightest inconvenience, you're going to take that excuse and quit. The clarity, the calibration, and the confidence is your foundation that gives you the unshakable confidence. Okay? I don't want you taking action without clarity. You want to lose weight, you at the gym doing things that don't even help you Lose weight. You don't know how you should be eating. You don't know what you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating. You don't know how many calories you should be taking in a day. You just at the you're doing the competence, but you're not seeing the results because you don't got clarity, calibration, and confidence. You don't know if you need to be doing cardio. You don't know if you need to be doing weights. You don't know what type of mixture you need to be doing. You don't. You just at the gym. And then when you've been going to the gym for 30 days, but you see literally no results because you ain't got no clarity, no calibration, and your confidence. Now you think, well, I'm just big bone. Everybody, I'm gonna die looking like this. No, the problem isn't that you can't lose weight. The problem is you don't got the clarity, the calibration, and the confidence yet. The problem is that you can't make $6,000 a month. The problem is you trying to make $6,000 a month, but you're doing it without clarity, calibration, and confidence. I know a lot of hypnotists. I know a lot of coaches is just as qualified as I am. Got all the schooling, got all the education, got all the certifications that I got. But they go, Jay, man, what are you doing? I got clarity, calibration, and confidence. And then I started doing competence. Before I built the website, I had clarity, calibration, and confidence. Before I got on TikTok and went live, I had clarity, calibration, and confidence. Before somebody show up in a consultation with me, they've already experienced my clarity, my calibration, and confidence. The competence gets so much easier when you got clarity, calibration, and competence. And confidence. Y'all remember the example we used earlier was if we were doing a giveaway, and in this live, once a month, I gave away $500,000. If you won the $500,000, and I say, hey, you won, but you got to get in my office in Dallas, Texas tomorrow before 5 p.m., or you forfeit the money. If you can't get in my office in Dallas, Texas by tomorrow 5 p.m., you forfeit the money. The reason people are like, hell yeah, I make it. They got clarity. They know exactly what they stand to gain. They know exactly what they stand to gain by getting in Dallas, Texas tomorrow. They calibrate it. They know exactly what they're gonna do with $500,000. They know how it's gonna change their life. They know how it's gonna help them, and they confident in the fact that I'm giving it away. Now, if they was like, man, that man not gonna give me $500,000, the confidence wouldn't show up. The ideas wouldn't show up. But if you believe that it's $500,000 there waiting for you, and you know, man, it's 500,000. It ain't some money they're waiting for. It's $500,000 they're waiting for you, and you actually believe that it's there waiting for you. The competence piece gonna be easy. If your bank account in the negative, beg borrow still. You gonna find some money for a plane ticket. Like the confidence that you ask to borrow money with is completely different from the confidence you ask with when you don't know how you're gonna pay them back. When you know, boy, in less than 24 hours, I'm gonna have $500,000. You like, hey, you doing me a favor by letting me borrow this 275 for this plane ticket. Like you want like the confidence you ask for the money for. Like, hey mom, I need to borrow $300. I give it to you in 24 hours. You know what? I give you $1,000 in 24 hours if you just let me borrow $300. The confidence you ask for is different when you got clarity, calibration, and confidence. When you go to a networking event, but you ain't got no clarity, no calibration, no confidence, and you try to do competence by going to the networking event, you end up standing in the corner. Somebody say, hey, tell me about yourself. What do you do? You stumbling over your words. You don't know exactly what you do. You don't know how to introduce. Well, I'm an entrepreneur, but I do motivational speaking, and I'm a veteran. Ain't nobody trying to spend money with you because you ain't got no clarity, no calibration, no confidence. So you tried entrepreneurship, but you tried it without clarity, calibration, and confidence. You tried dating, but you were in the dating pool without clarity, calibration, and confidence. When you don't got clarity, calibration, and confidence, instead of forcing the dating pool to calibrate to you, you end up calibrating to the dating pool. But when you show up in the dating pool with clarity, with calibration, and with confidence, now you firm in what you want, and people who not that, you can feel the vibrational disconnect, and people who are that, man, they draw in closer to you. Everything changes when you get clarity, calibration, and confidence, and then take action. I'm not saying don't go back to school. I'm saying get clarity, calibration, and confidence, and then go back to school. I'm not saying don't start going to the gym. I'm saying get clarity, calibration, and confidence, and then start going to the gym. Okay? And the last C is consistency. Consistency is the glue that holds everything together. Clarity is not something you get once. I've been doing what I do for about 2 decades. I'm still getting clarity. I'm still having breakthroughs. I'm still having aha moments. I'm still having experiences where I go, like I can remember a few years ago, I got booked and busy. That was one of my affirmations. I want to be booked and busy. Then I got booked and busy. I was like, I don't like this. Time I could get one client out of here, another one walking in. I just finished listening to this person complain. No, I don't want to work with these people. I don't want to work on these issues. I want to work with these group of people, and I don't want to be booked and busy. I want to see 2 to 3 clients a day. Then I went from wanting to work with 2 to 3 clients a day to I want to work with 10 clients a month and get those 10 clients a month my undivided attention. I'm gonna charge 10 people a month, $3,000. I'm gonna give them my undivided attention. And anybody who can't afford that, I'm gonna put them into one of my group programs. I'll still coach at a lower price point, but it's gonna be in a group setting. But that comes from continuously getting clarity. Now every time I get clarity, I gotta calibrate to the new clarity. And every time I calibrate, guess what? My confidence gonna go up even higher. But if my confidence go up, guess what else better come up? My competence. And I got to consistently run through all of these 5 C's. And what consistently running through the 5 C's does is it puts you in what we call a success loop. And when you're in the success loop, what happens is you can't lose because you're too busy winning. How cool would it be if you can get so busy winning that you just couldn't lose? Clarity evolves. Yes, clarity evolves. Definitely. But this is the path to creating a success loop. I gotta look at what I don't want and get clear about what I'd rather have. That's clarity. Let's zoom in. I gotta look at what I don't want and get clear about what I'd rather have. Then after I know what I want, I gotta get calibrated to what I want. I gotta get under the influence of what I want. It's like drinking alcohol. When you get under the influence of alcohol, it changes the way you walk, it changes the way you talk, it changes the way you think, it changes the way you act, it changes the way you feel. When you under the influence of alcohol, it changes everything about you. Well, I'm here to tell you, when you get under the influence of your clarity, it's gonna change everything about you. It's gonna when you get under the influence of your goal, it's gonna change the way you walk in the room. It's gonna change the way you communicate. It's gonna change your body language. It's gonna change you energetically. Okay. Now, when you get confident in that calibration, that means you can remain in that calibration no matter what. You could be on a stage and people can start booing, and you're gonna assume they the one with the problem. Like, hey, man, listen, okay. If you don't want it, you don't want it. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But I know it's 8 billion people in the world. There's a group of people that it's for. That's what confidence is. Confidence is about believing more in your clarity than you believe in what your eyes see. Believing more with the of believing in that internal vision more than you believe in your external circumstance. Believing in where you headed more than you believe in where you've been. Like think about it. If you could believe in the past, what stop you from believing in your new future? Your past only exists in your imagination. Same way your future only exists in your imagination. So if what happened back there can alter how you feel, you telling me you don't think what happens up here can alter how you feel? You just got to start thinking on purpose. Get in the habit of telling your thoughts what to think and telling your feelings what to feel. Understand that your mind is not you. Your mind is a tool that you use. I'm going to say it again. Your mind is not you. Your mind is a tool that you use. Start using the tool. Stop letting the tool use you, and you got to start using the tool. But that's the 5 C's, guys. Clarity, calibration, confidence, competence, consistency. If you could think it, you could do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. I got good news. You can think it. You can think it. Will you take the time to do it? Will you use your willpower to control your thinking? You don't got to use your willpower to go to the gym. Use your willpower to change your mind. And your new mind, gonna make you want to go to the gym. This stuff isn't complex. Now it's gonna take some repetition. It's gonna take a decision. But if you're willing to make a decision, if you're willing to sit with that decision, realize that nobody's expecting perfection out of you but you. Nobody's expecting perfection out of you but you. I don't need you to be perfect. I need you to wake up every day and give it the best you got. And I understand sometimes your best is up here and sometimes your best is up there. Well, I mean down there. One of the things that I've been doing with my clients for these past few months is I've been having them run what I call a floor and a ceiling. Like for me, my floor is going to the gym, spending an hour and a half. I want to spend about 45 minutes on cardio, and I want to spend another 30 to 45 minutes on weights, and then I want to get a good stretch in. That's the ceiling. My floor is knocking out 100 push-ups, knocking out a quick 100 sit-ups. That's my floor. I'm gonna work out every day, but some days it's gonna look like me putting 2 hours into it. Some days it's gonna look like me knocking out a quick little 10-minute workout. But I'm gonna work out every day. That's my floor and my ceiling. So that helps me to stay consistent, even on days where I'm not feeling like going all out. I'm gonna still give me a workout in. So I can look back at a calendar and say, yeah, man, I done worked out for the last 200 days. Some days it was a 2 hour workout. Some days it was a 10-minute workout. But I've worked out for the last 200 days. Use your floor and the ceiling. Nobody's expecting perfection out of you. What I need you to do is get 1% better a day. If you could just get 1% better a day, you'll be surprised what you could do in 6 months. Like, you'll be surprised what you could do in a year. If you just get 1% better a day in the course of a year, that's a 365% increase. What does a 365% increase look like in your finances? What does a 365% increase look like in your health? What does a 365% increase look like in your marriage? Something as small as 1% a day could get you there. So I'm finna get ready to land. Listen, if you want to work with me, icoachbosses.com. That's where you want to go. Apply to work with me. If you want to get in one of my communities, if you want to get in the 5C inner circle, you need to go to the link in my bio. Appreciate all y'all for hanging out with me. I'll be live again in the morning, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Look, I love y'all, and ain't a damn thing you can do about it. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. The community is fire. Everything over here is fire. Like it's going up. And I was just having a meeting with Nikki. Some of the stuff we got coming up for the rest of this year, guys, it's only like 75 days left in this year. It's only like 75 days left in this year. Don't wait until the new year to kick shit into action. Spend the last 75 of these days disciplining your mind. And by the time you get to January 1st, your mind can be locked in. And you got so much momentum going that you already zooming by the time the new year get here. Hypnosis is fire. And the dope thing, the crazy thing about hypnosis, most people don't realize, is you already hypnotizing yourself. You might as well start doing it on purpose. It's impossible to get anxious without hypnosis. It's impossible to get depressed without hypnosis. You already using hypnosis. You're just using it in the wrong direction. But yo, y'all got all of my information. You're interested in working with me? Reach out to me. Would love to help you with whatever you at in life. I'm gonna log off. It's time for me to eat, and I'll talk to y'all later, man.